Hello everybody and welcome to another official Gearbox Software stream. I am your host, Elisa Melendez, your new media manager, and I am here with Grant and Randy, the amazing folks that are going to talk about a lot of stuff today. So much so that we had to start our stream an hour early,
right? Yeah.
There is a lot here.
So I'll just start off by saying this. We have a couple of slides that just talk in this update about how big this update is. But I want to tell everyone, so much of what's coming in this next update, we're calling it the Winter Update, are things that Grant and I and all of the Battleborn team have dreamed about since even before launching the game back in May. Many of the things we're bringing to you now are things that we always wanted in the game. And for any of you guys have worked on projects or software like that, you know that you always get to the point that you have to release something and you have to make those tough decisions to like delay things or cut them out of the game. So a lot of these things are things that we really wanted early on. We're getting to you now. We're really excited to get into Battleborn because we feel that it really rounds out the game and brings you a game that I think has some really cool, new, exciting stuff in it.
Hey! You see that? Folks are already excited in the chat. That's awesome. Hello. So, there's a lot in here.
There's a lot, and we've got a lot to cover. So we should probably stop saying a lot and get to the slides.
Show you exactly what it is.
So how do we want to kick this off?
Well, first and foremost, I mean, for me, personally, one of the cool things that I like about, well, let's go ahead and get started with our presentation here. For me, personally, one of the cool things that I enjoy about a lot of these updates are so many things that are coming, right? An update is an update until it's this kind of update. So this is an overview of everything we're going to talk about today.
This is the table of contents of the table of contents.
We have a table of contents. Yeah,
so we're
a lot.
We're going to be talking about a lot of things, and many of you have already gotten a chance to read the blog that went out 2 days ago with 2K, and then some other notes in the battle plan today. Just real quick, we've got a brand new player experience, a lot of features gained to if new players are coming in, making the game good for them. Returning player enhancements, many features that if you are an experienced player or coming back, things that make you want to come back and play the game or spend more time, more rewards, more loot, more advancement, that type of thing. Grant's going to talk us through a lot of changes to character balance. With every big update, we do a lot of changes that we can't do in our weekly micro patches, but we can do in these big updates. We've got some things coming on there. Yep. We've done some changes, several big changes to our modes. So Incursion and Face Off got some tweaks. Capture and Meltdown got some pretty substantial reworks, and we're going to walk you through those. With that, we have some changes to Character Select, including Draft Select mode. We're going to walk you through that and tell you all about the features there. And then we're going to close out by telling you a little bit about what's coming, because even though this is a massive update, I saw some worry on the forum. Is this it? Is this the last big update? No, we've got more things planned and more things coming for you guys, and we want to let you know what you can expect even in the future of Battleborn.
Yep, perfect. Now, as I was mentioning before, this is awesome. I'm a skin fan myself because I love to dress myself up some characters. This is a new skin set that is coming out, and this is a medieval skin set.
Right. When we were looking at different themes of skins that we like we did the summer theme, we kind of did the creepy theme of skins earlier, and we wanted to do something else, and we had a lot of characters again mixing in melee and some other things that very much are. I love this Galilea skin.
Oh, so good.
Very much conducive to kind of going back to classic fantasy medieval themes. So we took several of our favorite characters. Oh, here's one that I know I've heard requests for. Jester Arendi.
So good.
Chaos Incarnate, or it's the Taunt Chaos. It's Last Laugh is the name of the skin there. But a really great Jester skin there, and I think there's even a couple of taunts that do like juggling and stuff. So that, look at this Oscar Mike skin. I love it, kind of Oscar Knight.
Oscar Knight. Oh, that's awesome.
That should have been the name of the skin, but instead it's called RDC OG Old Guard.
Nice, and this is in particular one of the reasons that I call this like the cosplayer challenge skin pack, because I would love nothing more than to see a Phoebe cosplayer take this on, because this is gorgeous.
Yeah, Phoebe in the Royal Society skin there, and we didn't talk about him earlier, but this is a great skin on Atticus. It's called Grendel, the big massive wooden arm with some kind of mechanical parts on it. Drake from the North kind of makes Benedict over into a dragon, and then some other great skins. So it looks like I think 5 total skins in this set. I can't remember. Maybe you know exactly the release date on those. I can't remember when they go live. It's not today, is it? It's with the next update, right?
Right.
So the skins will be available in the next update, but give you guys a preview of what's coming.
Yes.
And what to save your dollars for. So these are awesome skins. Looking forward to getting them into your hands.
Yes. Yeah. Those are excellent, and I'm super excited about those.
Also, since we're showing these skins, sneak peek at the new layout.
It does look a little different,
yes.
doesn't it?
So glad you mentioned that, Grant, because we'll look at that here. We'll look at it again later. But when we said in the blog and the battle plan that there are some UI updates, we've basically reskinned the entire UI of the game. We've cleaned it up. We've made some things easier to present. We've combined the screens together and all that. You're going to get a good walkthrough of that today, but this is a really great example of that. We merged the skins and the taunt screen together, which makes it really convenient to try a taunt on a specific skin and change back and forth. So I think it was a really smart change and just helps you guys really take a look at all these great characters that we have.
Awesome. So there you go. Dress yourselves up. A new update. So let's talk about this update.
I love this. Chris Brock, who's been the senior producer on our project since the very beginning. You guys have heard from him at PAX and all of that. this wonderful quote from him. I've been at Gearbox for 10 years, and this is the craziest update we've ever done. Chris is like Mr. No Emotion. So for him to use words like crazy is a pretty big deal. Again, for all of you guys out watching this stream, let me tell you, this update isn't because we had some big contractual obligation to make content for you guys.
Right.
This update exists because the Battleborn team loves you guys and loves this game so much. We had features that we simply would not let go. So almost everything that you're getting in this update has to do with a team that is in love with you guys, is in love with the game, and really wanted to do our best at making Battleborn as full feature of a game with as much rich, awesome gameplay and content in as we could. So there's a lot of love in this update. It's huge. It's been in the works behind the scenes as we've done the other big patches and updates for you guys over the last couple of months. Bits of this, I think, Grant, you've been working on draft mode since right after we launched the main game. Yeah. So we've been working on these for months and months and months. So a lot of work from a lot of people in this. I can't underscore it enough. So I think we have been at Gearbox as hyped for this update as you guys have. So let's talk about what's in this big thing.
Let's go. Let's get into it. Let us get into it.
All right. So first off, there's a category of things that we like to call the new player experience. One of the things that we heard from you guys in the community from launch and over that Battleborn's a really cool game. It's also kind of an involved game. There's a lot of things to learn. It's a little bit different. It has different takes on players and game modes. And sometimes it's a little bit harder for new players to get into, especially once we had some experienced players in there in the game. So we've heard several requests for things like tutorials, for things that get more characters in your hand quickly, all of those types of things, chance to practice your characters. So we took all of that, and honestly, I wish we could have gotten this to you guys sooner, but here it is. Things that we really have wanted in for a long time. Just walk through these real quick. First off, all 25 core characters, the original 25 characters, not the DLC characters, the 25 characters that shipped with the game, are no longer gated behind challenges. When we shipped the game, we thought this would be a really cool way. I mean, we love games like Smash Brothers and other RPGs that Street Fighter does it some other games with large character rosters, kind of cordon you out. And we thought it would be a good idea for helping you learn limited sets of characters that we chose and then expanding out from there. We thought that unlocking would be fun. But we heard from a lot of you folks out there that you really just wanted to jump into this big, broad roster of cool characters that we have. So with this update, we've retooled some things in the game, and we're going to give you all 25 characters right after the prologue. You're still going to play Melka in the prologue if you're a brand new player. As soon as you get out of the prologue, where typically before we unlocked, I think 7 other characters, now you just get all the characters. So a bunch of characters out there for you. No more waiting to get into them. So you may be wondering, well, what if I unlocked the characters before? I did a lot of work to get to that. Well, guess what? If you still have some characters that you haven't gotten to the command rank or completed the challenge to do that, All of those challenges have been replaced replaced with challenges that unlock a really awesome skin.
Perfect.
It's finally, in my opinion, I consider it the first true black skin that we've had in the game.
Ooh.
We kind of did that with the Mastery skin. We kind of had the Varelsi kind of charcoal gray and purple. This is a awesome looking black skin with kind of some amber gold colored highlights on it. We've heard it was one of the most popular requests we have from you when we talk to you guys on forums and such. What color skins do you want, black and gold? So this is going to come along.
Perfect.
And it looks really cool in all the characters. I think you're going to
Yes.
love these skins. If you have already completed those challenges, if you are a Battleborn veteran, you will already have those skins unlocked for characters in your inventory. So it will be retroactive for that one, and you'll just have them. So something to show up and take a look at. I think you're really going to enjoy those, and hiding in the dark corners of all the map. I'm sure you're going to break things and make us regret giving you a black skin, but
Yeah.
here they come. I think they look really, really awesome.
Yeah, and shout out to Flynn Sanity 94 who had that question. If those veterans that have already had
Yep.
those done. There you
Yeah,
go.
we wanted to be sure that while we certainly are doing this to give new players a chance to get into the game faster. We want to take care of all of you who have put a lot of love and time in the game, and wanted to be sure that there was something substantial here that said, your effort was worth it. There's still a reward in it for you. There's still a reason to do those. So there you go. That's all that. So the second big thing on this list I want to let Grant talk about, because he spent a lot of his heart in this, are the main quests and daily quests. And we've got a sneak peek at what this looks like in the front end of the game now.
So when players log in, there'll be a main quest that will kind of lead players, especially new players, throughout many of the modes of our games, and to do things in our games that we want players to do. And the main quest is actually an involved teaching tool, and along the way you get rewarded for doing the things. So for example, on this screenshot you see it says kill 60 minions. We want to reinforce the play style of minions in our game. We want players to kill these minions. And that in turn will help them learn the game mode, help them be involved in the team play aspects of the game mode, and in turn they get rewarded with earned currency here, as you can see, 600 credits. There's many quests. There's 20, as you can see. This is the second out of 20, and each quest gets harder, but you get rewarded more. Daily quests are also quests that you unlock every day.
I'm really excited about daily quests.
Yeah, and
Yes.
they provide different rewards, and which you'll find out once the patch comes out. But these daily quests, you'll have one every day, and they can store up to 3, so you don't have to be on every day to do it. You can store up to 3
Oh, that's good.
before you start completing one.
Yeah, there's a set of daily quests that can refresh every day. There's a set of them that are a little bit harder with a little bit bigger reward that happen one every 3 days, and then a set of them that are one every 6 days. They're the hardest, but they give the biggest rewards. So you'll always have 3 quests at a time, and the quests stay until you've completed them. Correct, Grant? Yeah.
Yep.
So always a reason to come back, jump into Battleborn, and again, a way to come back and get cool rewards that you can earn that will let you unlock more content, get more loot packs, do all sorts of things in the game. So really excited about that. Cool daily incentives to come back and play the game. Beyond that,
we
let's
have
see.
we have our tutorials.
Yeah, and we have a versus training in the dojo
Yes.
on this list. We actually have a video to show off a
Yes.
little bit of that, right?
Yep,
Okay.
yep, we
So
have,
let's cut
video to
over
show
and
off
talk
each.
about that.
Yeah. So we'll take it to versus.
Yeah, so let me again. We've heard one of the big requests from you guys, even as veteran players, and some of you maybe as new players, have been to have a little bit more tutorial and training in the game. There's a little bit of that in our prologue, but as you know, the prologue has a lot of things to do. It sets up the story, it's teaching you just the basics of how a character works in Battleborn, and it doesn't really get into teaching you about a game mode. So we've gone back and we've done a couple of things. So the versus training that we're going to give you, and Sean, anytime you have that video ready, you can cut to it. I'll continue talking on and over it, and I'll let Grant. Eventually, I'll let Grant jump in and talk over me if he got to find a spot. But what we wanted to do with the Versus tutorial is take some of the most requested aspects of training, like how do you play Incursion? What are the things I need to do? Please emphasize wave clearing. Please emphasize spinning your helix point. Tell me about what I need to do to engage a sentry and take it out. Remind people that there are buildables and they're important. Tell people that you should return to base when you're hurt instead of giving your life away. So in the Versus tutorial, Nova is going to walk you through. We recorded a lot of unique dialogue for this. Nova is going to walk you through a kind of step by step what important things are in the game, what's going on. She's going to talk about different things, and then at certain points as you get into the tutorial itself, as you get close, like you step up to a buildable, it'll trigger some dialogue for Nova. She'll walk you through why it's important, what you should do, how to use it. This is a shard cluster, this is a buildable, this is all that. The map that we've made for this is a unique map. It's actually kind of like a very small, almost like a mini incursion map. It's almost a one-lane incursion. Well, I guess all the incursion maps are kind of one lane, but it really is a one-lane incursion map, where you have just a small wave of minions that lead from your base down there and one sentry on either end. You even have a wing to the side where the thrall camp exists. You can go over there and practice capturing the thrall camps if you want. But it gives you a chance to get in and learn the basics about, again, in a very small map, picking up the shards. And by the way, the first time you play it, new players will experience this as a single player versus bot. So you'll be by yourself, I think with 2 other bots that fill in on your team maybe, and then 3 other bots that come in on the other side and play against you. They're very easy. The difficulty is tuned way down on this. We've done some things to cheat to be sure that you don't die, but if you do, we actually have some training associated with that, so we tell you even how that works and respawning and all of that. And after you've done it once like that, after everybody has that one experience where you walk through, you kill a sentry, and you get a success on this, then we're going to bring it back. It'll appear under a new front menu option called Training, where you're going to be able to click this, and you're going to match in with up to 3 players. So it'll be a 3-player training to come back and revisit and all that. We do that because we want to maintain some efficiency with the server costs for us, but we want to give you guys a chance to come in with groups of up to 3 people, to bring a friend in and say, hey, listen up to Nova, you should pay attention. Practice, train, very simple, all versus bots. You can come in. We do award a little bit of experience and credits for this. It's greatly diminished because it is supposed to be a training mode, but there is no challenge or lore progression on this. So we don't want you to come in here and farm those challenges. You want to do that in the main game. But you will get a little bit of reward for playing this. This really emphasizes training, not reward. But we think it's going to do a much better job of acclimating you to the main parts of the competitive game. Anything to add there, Grant?
No, I think you covered most of it. And as players or people were watching it, I think you saw there's highlights, there were little new icons pointing down to minions, there was the death, and then the Nova dialogue. We try to cover as many bases as we can with this tutorial to help players kind of guide them into the actual game mode experience. So
yeah, and not for nothing, just in the process of recording this, on a personal note, I was, as a relatively new player, I was actually really, really happy to be able to have this opportunity.
It absolutely works. You have it absolutely guaranteed. Alyssa's going to put her guarantee on it that this 100% guaranteed by her to train new players how to play Battleborn. So it's going to be a great tool for you guys. I'm sure there's some things that we might need to tweak or emphasize in it, but we're going to get it in your hands. I think it's going to make a big difference for new players, and we're excited to take this and tweak it and tune it that it gets even better as we move along. So one of the first big new things. So the other thing we have to talk about is what we call the dojo. So do we have a video for that as well?
Yes, we do.
So I talked about training. Grant, you want to talk about the dojo?
Yeah, the dojo is a private space for you to test out your character and your gear loadout. As you can see, you spawn in at level 5. You have 100,000 shards to use.
It's a lot of shards. It's more shards than you will ever need to activate gear.
And you can pick any of the helix choices up to level 5. So you have your ultimate in the first 5 levels of your helix. You get a wave of minion will spawn every 40 seconds, and then you'll spend your time killing them, learning the skills, doing whatever you need. The minions will get tougher over time every wave, and you'll gain experience for every kill, and also just naturally over time. So if you stand there and do nothing, you'll gain experience and level up, or if you kill the minions, you'll get a rapid, accelerated experience growth rate.
Yeah, I let a minion go through the grinder there.
Yeah, and we wanted to also reinforce that, hey, kill minions. So you can see a lot of the goals of this patch was to help players guide them into the PvP space, make sure that all the things that we included are integrated in the sense where players kill minions, players play the game modes, players do the correct things to help win in PvP. And we really want to enforce that and drive that to our PvP community fans.
Yeah. And here is Elisa going up and talking to Nova. Anytime, there's no penalty. You get no credits, no experience, no challenge for this mode. It really is, the emphasis is come in here, try things out, play around with the character, with the abilities. When you're done, you go talk to Nova. Nova will instantly drop you back out to the menu. So it's a pretty quick launch, pretty quick out on this. You don't have to wait for a lot of the setup on all that. There's no reset in the match itself. You have to go back out to the menu and restart it the way the leveling up works in Battleborn. But it's pretty quick. It should be easy for you to get in, and if you want to try different things, come in and try a different gear loadout next time and all of that. It's a way to get in and try out a lot of characters and all of that. And again, as many times as you want. We had to do some. We wanted this in at launch, but we had some oddities with the way that our servers were architected. We had to kind of work around that,
Right.
and we wanted to handle that, and it was so important to get in for you guys that we kind of took a couple of extra steps. Big shout out to a couple of guys, Neil Johnson and Brian Thomas, a coder and designer on our project. You've seen Brian before. Those guys did a lot of special work on their own time, and we didn't think we were going to be able to do this.
Right.
They got it working, and I can't wait to get this tool in your hands. Those of you who love to play with builds, who love to do like character guides and all of that, it's going to be a great tool for you to get into and play with different things and to show off specifically how things work. Not really a lot of pressure in this mode. There's a very mild time limit. And as Grant mentioned, it also kind of trains Meltdown. You know, you saw the grinder gates there from Meltdown, the waves of minions, the order, or the way the minions are spaced out there is I think identical to the way they walk in Incursion and Meltdown. So you can practice like AOE effects on the character and practice your aiming and spacing and timing of those events and stuff like that. So really great training tool to get in the game and play with. So really excited to get that. That will also be available through the new training menu in the front end of the game. So you click training and you'll have access to both Versus tutorial and the dojo from that menu.
Yeah, lots of great feedback and some questions in the chat. Tyranno Chuck says, this is such a good idea. I wanted to practice particular characters before PvP so I don't get wrecked for trying a tune for the first time. Good addition here.
Yep.
So that's really good. And then do you play versus other players in the dojo, or is the enemy team just always bots?
No. Dojo is strictly solo practice. And, you know, it's get in, play around. No enemy players in the dojo. It really is just get in there and play around and fiddle with numbers and try out character abilities, try different builds.
Yep.
And you'll get the number feedback. You'll see the damage that comes up in there. So you'll still be able to measure, you know, how do you like what it's doing. You'll get to practice your sniping as Marquis. You'll get to practice your, you know, landing your Benedict rockets even better than you already are. I'm watching you guys. I know what's going on out there.
Yeah.
That's really good practice for sure.
I mean, I think it's really important to kind of like encapsulate all of this and under the whole new player experience.
Yeah.
Like, imagine you're coming into this game, you have access to 25 characters, and you go through the tutorial that trains you on how to just play the game. Then you go through the Versus tutorial that says, like, okay, this is what PvP is like. And once you're done with that and you want to play around with a different character, you can hop into the dojo, do whatever you need, practice your character, practice your movement, practice your button pushing, and also be visually associated with the actors and minions and AI, everything involved in all the modes that are being taught. And in addition, once you're done with all of that, if you just wanted a consequence-free, don't want to worry about getting stomped or anything by another team, you and two other buddies can go into the Versus training,
right,
and then just play that and just learn how to play together, play the game. Provide additional help if necessary.
Yeah, I like your phrase consequence-free in there because that's definitely one thing we heard from you guys. You want to be able to play around with stuff when the pressure's off.
Right.
It's hard to learn a new character when you jump into a game and suddenly you have to perform for your team. Right, you have to, and we've all had that experience. A new character, I have no idea what to do. A random match into a queue of people, I have no idea what's going on. I'm trying to learn the character, and even if you tell the team, I'm just learning the character. Sometimes it's kind of hard to let your team down in that situation. So the dojo is a great place for you to go out and try those characters.
Toxie97 has a great question. Is this mandatory for everyone to do, even if they've already gone through hours of PvP or anything?
No, neither. We didn't want to funnel you through all of that. Now we're talking about doing some things in the future, especially like taking some instances where we might carve off like a lower command rank portion of the population and make them play through some competitive pools just with those groups before they do this. And we talked about that with the training. Do we want to force you to training and all that? And generally, we didn't want to get in the way of your ability to get in and play the game. But the training map, the 1v training map, will appear actually in two places when you first find the single player training, the solo. It's called Versus Training Solo. It'll be at the very top of the Versus queue. So if you just click Versus, the very first experience button you'll see up there will be Versus Training Solo. And you'll also see that down in the training menu, so if you go there. So we don't force you to do it. You'll have the other normal weekly Versus queues there, but it'll be right at the top. It'll be right at the featured, and we'll and Nova, I believe, for new players, actually has a new line when you go into that screen that she says would highly recommend that you play the training first. So we didn't want to get in your way. And once you play that in that Versus menu, the solo experience will disappear from your Versus menu, but you'll always have the 3-player match in Versus training available in the other training menu.
Yeah, because there are other people that are sort of saying in the chat things like, oh, you know, sometimes maybe in other games, I like to use my friend as like a crash test dummy for me to try stuff out on them.
Well, you've always been able to do that in private matches. You can still, we're not taking that away from you guys who purchased the game. You guys will still have the private match. You can still 1v1 in a private match and go on there with bots on both teams and play around with it and try that out. We wanted to do something, the training again, while you do have, it's never against other players. The training is 3 versus bots. The dojo is by yourself. And the training specifically has a lot of messaging. Nova talks a lot in that mode and tells you a lot of things about what's going on with the game and how to play the game and how to engage in kind of the critical knowledge you need to know to really make the most out of versus multiplayer.
Yeah, and then just to sort of review for the dojo, in order to change character in the dojo, you have to quit and then...
Yes. Yeah, you can either complete the little mini meltdown thing we have. I think you score 300, 500 points. I can't remember what it is. It's 700 points. Or you just go click on Nova, and Nova says goodbye, come back again. Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect. Awesome.
All right, let's take a look at what else is here.
I'm so excited. This is so good. And just as an aside, doing the capture
PowerPoint
for those videos, I definitely had a really good time in the dojo and kind of practicing that, jump up with Benedict and then hit the ult and aiming it and all that stuff. Because I whiff so much.
Yeah, I like that the dojo, it has some things. When you guys get into it, you play around, you realize that even a lot of the layout we've done has like, a normal full height jump, a double height jump in it. It'll have some gaps that are typical, like if you've taken a double jump or you have Caldarius with additional thrusters. You can practice. It's actually very intentionally spaced, so you can get in there and you can practice a lot of those mobility characters for the features and play around with that and run around with that.
Really good question from Blake. Can you carry gear into the dojo?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Perfect.
You will go, when you go into the dojo, you'll go through a character select screen, and we'll show you the new character select screen in just a second, but you'll pick a character and you'll pick a gear. I think you'll even pick a skin and a taunt there and be able to see all that in the dojo. Yeah, but you'll be able to carry that in there, and that's why we give you 100,000 shards to launch, that even if you're running 3 legendary pieces of gear whose activation costs are 1,800 shards a piece, you'll have more than enough shards to activate those 3, and then I don't know, you just get to see what it looks like to have shards on top of shards on top of shards. So
just make it rain.
Yeah, a lot of fun.
Awesome.
Okay, let's move on because we've got a lot of
there is a lot to cover. So that was the new player sort of kind of experience. Now for folks that are coming back.
Right. Now these are features that are specifically designed for you guys who are loyal players. They're both new quality of life features. They're new cool features that want to bring you back. They increase advancement. We're going to walk through that. Sometimes they're just like when we talk about the PS4 Pro support and the performance enhancements here, they're just to handle big issues that some folks have had with the game that we want to do to improve the game for everybody, regardless of where you are and where you're playing. So there's some crossover there, like the daily quests are technically a good returning player feature, but we wanted to talk about that all with quests up front. So let's talk specifically about these because we've got a lot. PS4 Pro support, a big user interface overhaul, new economy, we'll walk you through that.
Yes.
Diamond score challenge is coming back to the game. I know you've been asking this for a long time. Command rank and character rank, level cap increases and rewards with those, and then new and improved boosts available in the marketplace. So let's walk you through all of that.
There's a lot.
So PS4 Pro support. We've already talked about this some on the forums and been answering questions for that. It also works. We have this type of similar support for the new Xbox as well, the Xbox One S. But on the PS4 Pro and I believe Xbox One S, definitely PS4 Pro. We'll have to get the details for you guys in the patch notes, but this is good here. 1080p with 30 FPS cap, 1080p with 60 FPS cap. That means, the game runs most of the time at or near 60 FPS. It has some drops, but you can cap it at 60 FPS. So if you're serious about maintaining consistent 60 FPS frame rate on there at 1080p, you're going to be running at that most of the time. It runs really great. You guys who have a PS Pro are good. Now, I've also been asked to tell you by our friend Scott Velasquez. A lot of you know him as SSSMG. Highly involved in a lot of our community, a lot of our forums. The guy, he has personally done a lot of effort on the type of performance increases we're putting in this patch. And performance is better across the board. This is not something that is exclusive to PS4 Pro or the Xbox One S. Performance increases across the board. Now, the PS4 Pro, because it supports it, can also run native 4K at 30 frames per second cap. So no upscaling or checkerboarding. It is a native resolution there. And of course, it doesn't do 60 FPS at that. But if you have a big 4K monitor, you have a PS4 Pro, you want to see Battleborn running at 4K resolution. Woo. It's a very beautiful experience. So you can cap that at 30.
Yep. It's gorgeous.
Beautiful. You can cap that at 30. You can play at that a good that. But if you're a serious competitor, now on all platforms, all console platforms, you're going to be able to do that 60 FPS cap. It'll maintain very close to 60 FPS. We have a couple of maps, like a lot of you are familiar with some of the challenges we've had with the Echelon map and all that. Some of those we're still going to have situational frame drops, but you're going to see a performance enhancement across the board, and that even includes PC players. PC players, because of the type of optimization we've done on this, while you don't have the same cap options as the console players, you guys will see a good frame rate increase across the board. And we can't wait to get that into your hands, to hear about that, and to hear if there's any weird, every once in a while there's a video card. I know we've had some challenges with AMD cards in the past. We've gone back, we've looked at those, we've worked with those. We've tried to increase and enhance everything. So you guys are going to see, hopefully, a big enhancement in frame rate across every map, across every mode, in all the situations. Some of that's included optimizing effects, curtailing the effects down a little bit. A few patches ago, we did give you the option in your gameplay options to even manually go and set the effects down. So now, if you want to run Battleborn at the optimal frame rate especially for a competitive player, you just like to get it as smooth as possible. We've done a lot of work, put a lot of options in your hand for controlling that experience and making it as smooth as possible. Yep.
Excellent. That's great. So, for anybody that might be, getting themselves a PS4 Pro in the next couple of weeks, it's going to look super pretty.
Really, really great. Okay. On to the next. What do we have next?
Let's see. What do we got?
All right. Story mission diamond rank.
Actually, before that even.
We want to do that.
We've said a lot of stuff, and we've kind of showed little bits and pieces of it, kind of like teased it. This UI overhaul.
Oh, so we're going to walk through the UI. I think we are going to go live to the game now, right?
Live.
I'm going to take my controller in hand.
Randy, you do your own stunts, right? This is live. Awesome.
All right, so you guys get first a good look at kind of a cleaned up main menu. There's a few subtle differences here. Mostly you can see now that we have a lot of buttons here for the different ways you play. Versus public versus private still there. Story public, story private, of course. Operations with new operations, you saw that there, public and private. Here is the training training mode that I've talked about. You click that button there. I think we're connected to a server here. I'm going to click this and see what happens.
We're just going to click and see what happens.
You guys are seeing, yeah.
Oh, there you go.
There's your solo, your dojo training and your first incursion tutorial solo. Since we've never played it on this, it's solo first. That's right there. Now, you also notice down here at the bottom, we've cleaned up a few menu options just to try to get a few buttons off this main menu. I know it's a lot of choices for you guys. We really wanted to do that. One of the big things I want to call it, so you still have your friends list there, you still have your match history there. We've meshed together options, extras, and of course you on consoles know that everybody's taken away the quit button, so I think you're just supposed to walk away and let the console die of its own natural causes now. But options and extras have been combined together in one menu. The big thing I wanted to point out for you guys here, because I know you guys like our shift codes when we give them, so that's where you get the stuff. Now to redeem a shift code, you go into options and extras, click on extras, and your shift code menu, your shift menu is still down there.
Yep.
So still there, all of the stuff, the credits, the achievements, all your stuff is still there on the extras menu like it was before. We just put it into the options menu, so we take one little step out of the main menu and clean it up a little bit.
Yeah, a lot of folks in the chat are concerned that you are going to mess with GBX Menace's gear throughohout the course of this stuff.
I'm basically gonna sell it all. He doesn't need it anyway.
Nah.
We've done a little bit of change. You'll notice that now on there's some things like your default icon that comes from the platform, your Steam icon, your Xbox icon. We moved that away because we actually like the in-game Battleborn icons, and we wanted those to lead out. So you still have the icon and title there. Of course, you'll see the command rank here. The command rank comes and goes based on what we have set up for individual queues. But let's walk through the command menu because you're going to continue to see, again, we've cleaned up a lot of things. The menus have been redone. We've cleaned up the background. We've brought the characters in a little bit closer. Still some of the same layout on many of the screens, but we've really gone in here and we've cleaned it up and we've looked at a lot of different characters. So you see a lot of characters that you get up close and personal with. and really get a good view over there as we kind of go around and look at them. So I don't know. Let's go into a character
we
here
should
and take a
pick-
look at the changes within that.
Yeah, we should pick who to show off.
What do you think we should do here? Should we do?
Might be good.
You know what? I love Atticus. Atticus
is great.
Well,
Atticus is great. He's got the new medieval skin going, so.
So here's Atticus, and you see we've made some major changes to all the windows here. So information window, we really cleaned it up. We moved some things around. Again, the character's more prominent. All the skills and abilities now lined up on the right side,
That's
a little bit easier a little bit better formatted, easier to that. You still can see your progress on mastery if you guys are going for lore challenges or rank up and all of that. Just nice and clean and easy to look at there. Helix is basically the same as you've seen before. It just looks a little bit cleaner now. It's been reskinned. Appearance tab we showed you before as we looked in. We looked with that, but now you can scroll up and down. You can get all your taunts. You can go over here and you can apply your favorite skin. Right here, there's Lord of the Pit. Let's see, what's my favorite Atticus skin? In fact, I think here. Is this? Oh yeah, here we go. Look at this. This is one of the new champion skins that we have.
Nice.
Black and glowing Atticus here. Black, and you see when he uses his abilities, he's going to glow there. So I love that.
That's cool.
I'll go ahead and use the new. So there's the previous mastery skin that we had on there, and then I love that you can go right here and you can show some cool taunts that come up with there as he goes there. So all combined into one cool screen, and of course as you guys have seen before, you can still, if you want to buy a skin or a taunt right through here, it's still connected to the marketplace, and you still have the ability to do that. So.
Oh, they love that skin. They really like the black skin.
Yeah, the black skins
are
are really cool.
Yeah.
I may show one or two more as a surprise later on if we do that. So there's lore. Lore is basically the same. Stats, we've done a lot of work. Grant, are you familiar with? You want to walk through any of the changes in the stats here?
Yeah, we wanted to highlight some of the PvP stuff. I mean, we've kind of slowly migrated to a more PvP-centric stats page to show the capture, incursion, meltdown stuff at the top, the new mode, face-off, and the upcoming modes, supercharged. So we're showing all the PvP stuff at the top, and then we have the story stuff right below it.
Yeah.
And that's just to kind of highlight it's a player empowerment, highlight all the stuff that you've done, not only in the campaign side, but also in the PvP side.
And we've also added in some best stats here. We still have the we still have the other kind of gameplay specific battle marks that you can get there, but some other bests. And we've kind of moved to this. So again, the good way to still take a look at how you're doing for a character and what's going on with that character. We also still have career stats. We'll look at it in a second, but the character stats are here, just reworked. I think a much better presentation and a much clearer for what we're trying to do. All right, gear page. So again, a reskin of the gear page. We've done some things just to make it a little bit cleaner. You notice that we've done some work on the gear icons. The gear icons are now a little bit cleaner. We think
nice.
Easier to read on the colors.
Oh, yeah.
The gear card on the bottom is also cleaned up, a little bit easier to read. So but generally the same functions here still on your loadouts and your gear bank. One of the other things that we did though is we've done some work with the packs. Added just again a little bit of pizzazz with those. We now have these. So Sean has given me some cool legendary packs to open. He has some bank space, so I'm going to go ahead and open those. So a neat new
open and
ta-da,
immediately delete.
3D icon there, and
Nice.
let's see. Hemsworth Sparkle Shield. I'll just go ahead and I'll sell the rest. Sean doesn't need any of that. I don't know what that epic was. He doesn't need it. All right, get rid of that.
While we're on the gear page, I do want to also mention out there's been a lot of updates to gear, and we're not going to have time to get into all the minutia of it. But the patch notes will contain all the notes. A lot of legendary gear got a lot of love. A lot of stats that were originally underpowered got a lot of love. So be sure to hang around.
Yes.
Keep the legendary gears. They'll be updated. And when we talk about the new gear pack, we'll talk about hunting for new gear. But yes, a lot of the legendaries got a lot of love from not only the story ones, but also the PvP earned ones and the general legendary pools.
They are loving this in the chat, by the way, especially that new gear opening animation.
So that's really cool. Let me walk you through just a little bit more. Take a look at these other screens in the interface there to show you what's going on, if I can remember how to do that. So here's again your career page, very similar to what we did in the characters. It just consolidates all it a little bit better. You have your favorite characters there, and it now is a big scrolling list, operations, and again then the best off stats at the bottom. Challenges, same as it was before. Again, just a color reskin and all that, but it's still familiar challenge interface there. And titles, an interface here. We've added a lot of new titles to the game. I'm going to, especially around character rank ups, I'll talk about that in just a second, but a title interface still about the same. And then the marketplace over here also has a reskin. And I don't know what's going on there, but let's see. But different things here. Actually, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to show here. We may have some stuff in testing there. So I'm not going to scroll through there blindly and all that. You saw nothing there in the marketplace skin. But the marketplace, again, like everything else, a good reskin. Again, cleaned it up, made everything clear, hopefully a lot easier to see and a lot easier to navigate through the menus. And some cool things. I'm going to come back and you see, those of you who are paying a lot of attention, you're going to see the Boost skins, the Boost marketplace. Actually, while I'm here, oops, hit the wrong thing there. I'm going to go ahead real quickly and go over here to Boost because I want to talk about boosts. So I'm going to scoop a slide we're going to get to in just a little bit anyway. But while we're here, I'm going to talk to it about you with it. So we've improved boosts and we've added 2 new boosts that you can get. By the way, these prices are not final. No price here. We're still working on final prices of all these. Don't expect these to be the final prices of the game. So don't quote me on any of this. But what we wanted to do is, with the boost, we've improved the double XP boost, and you can see that again. Price is not final, and we've added 2 new boosts to the game: a loot boost and a VIP boost. So one of the things that happened before is when you bought a double XP boost from the marketplace, that boost went instantly into effect, and you saw a little blurb kind of at the top of the screen that the boost is active. It tells you how much time you have left on your boost. Of course, this means you only buy the boost right when you got it, and made it hard for us to do things like occasionally award a boost with a shift code because it goes active right when you get it. You might not be able to play during that time. It was one of the things that we wanted to improve. So now you can come to the marketplace, come to the boost screen, and you can choose when to activate a boost. Are you want to activate it now? Yes. You activate the boost, and you can see up at the top of the screen, you now get a boost, and the boost tells you how many hours you have left on the boost, and it shows you here in the marketplace how many hours are available for that boost.
Fantastic.
If you buy a 2-hour or a 5-hour boost, you're really just buying packs of 1-hour boosts. You can choose how many hours at a time you want to activate them, or you can let it completely run out and activate it again. That you can stack them together, run them singly, however you want to do. That's a new big improvement to how boosts work in the game.
Wow.
We've also given you loot boosts and what we call the VIP pass. Loot boosts are pretty cool. Loot boosts do exactly what they say. When you're running a loot boost, every time you play a match or mission, you're going to get a bonus loot pack. The loot packs, we'll eventually put out a table so you can see exactly what the rewards are there. But the loot packs are a little bit better if you win, but you're going to get it even if you lose. And that's every time you play, whether it's a versus match or a PvP mission, you're going to get additional packs after the end of the thing, end of any time you play. So awesome loot boost, you get to run that. And all of the boosts, I'll start with the loot boost, all of the boosts give better effects if multiple people are running them. The double XP boost will give you additional XP all the way up to if all 5 people in your party are running double XP boost. I think you get the equivalent of triple XP for everybody in the party while you're running them. The loot booster will continue to increase the quality and the amount of loot packs that drop for you for everybody that's running them in your pack. And then the VIP pass. Let me tell you about the VIP pass.
Yes.
The VIP pass is a big boost. This is certainly not the final price on that. It is a big, valuable purchase in the game.
Yeah.
The VIP pass basically temporarily unlocks every character and every aesthetic and every mutation in the game for the person running the VIP pass and every person that jumps into a party with him.
Whoa.
So if Grant has bought a VIP pass and has activated it, and I happen to solo queue in and get in a party with Grant, I now have all 30 characters available to me, including all 5 DLC characters, whether I have purchased them or unlocked them or not.
Oh, okay.
I have all the taunts and all of the skins available to me for all of those characters. And all of the mutations for that character, regardless of what character rank I've gotten. So it really is, you want to try out everything in the game. The VIP pass is a big way to get it here and do that for you. You're going to feel like a VIP because everybody on your team while you're matching it in through are going to get this benefit. So it's going to feel really awesome. You also get stacking bonuses on this, and the bonuses are simply back-end credits. If you already have a VIP, you have everything. You're getting to sample everything out. For every additional person in your party that's running a VIP booster, you're going to get additional credits paid out at the end of every match or mission for you. So again, a big way you want to really maximize your time in Battleborn. A way to get in there and do that. So this is our new boost system that's coming at you in this next big update. And I think for those of you who enjoy boosting, who really want to maximize your time in Battleborn, gives you a way to really optimize that and get some cool new rewards.
And
now,
everybody's going to know you're the VIP. I'm the VIP too, right?
Yes, and I didn't even talk about that. Let me show you about that. I'm going to go all the way back out.
Whoa.
Look at this title that's running up here now. So we're running the double XP bonus, which is giving you the fast learner title. It has one of these sexy new animated icons that the moment that you activate a title, it replaces your current title up there with this. You can go back and change it back if there's another title you want better, but you have temporary access to this title as long as you're running the boost, and there's a new one of these little icons for every one of the boosts. So everybody will know every time you log in, you can show off, I'm running a VIP pass. People's attention are going to be drawn to that. So if you
Lots of questions about the VIP pass.
Sure.
Duration.
It's the same. It'll be sold the same as the loot boost and the double XP boost. You'll be able to buy it in a 24-hour flavor, or you'll be able to buy it in a 2 days or 5-day flavors. Again, what you're really buying are bundles of 2 24-hour or 5 24-hour boosts, and you'll be able to do that when you buy them in larger amounts. I'm sure you'll get some kind of discount and purchase on that.
Cool. And even the skins hidden within loot packs are unlocked when you're VIP?
Yes. I believe it's every skin in the game. I think it is a full-on every entitlement that you could be granted for skin, and I'll have to check on that one. But I'm pretty positive that I think it literally is. It's everything.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
So it's probably even though I think it's this. I'll double check and we'll get that in the patch notes and or to you guys on the forum. But I'm pretty sure yes, it's all the skins in hidden in loot packs. It's all the skins in operations. I believe even it's a lot of them. But I'll get some clarification for you guys on the forum so you be sure to know. It's definitely all of the premium skins that previously you would have had to spend platinum currency on.
Cool.
A great way to try out a skin or a taunt if you're unsure that you want to.
Trust me, if you see a VIP in your party, you better thank them.
Yeah.
Nice.
They just unlock everything for your whole party.
Yeah. Golden Spider's so excited. I'll take the lifetime VIP pass. Thank you. Yep.
If you will just send your credit card number to no.
Awesome. Yeah, so people are really digging that. People are super digging that. Super good.
Awesome.
Yes.
All right, I think that gave you that's pretty much a grand tour through all of the UI there. Let's see if I can. Right. I'm trying to back out. I've lost control. Sean, help me. Oh, there we go.
Hey.
I think it's a pretty good. Oh, while we're here, there's another thing I had a slide for, but let me just show you this in the gear system here. So another thing that we've done that's big for returning players this update, along with the changes to boost and all that, we have done some changes to the overall economy of the game.
Oh, right.
And let me walk you through what's going on that. I'm going to blame it on Grant. This is all his idea. It's actually a wonderful idea. And
I'll take all the blame for this.
All the blame and all the credit. So when we mentioned the main quests now pay out kind of increasing awards, the main quests that we talked about earlier pay out credits. And you're going to see, you saw even at level 2 is a 600 credit reward. That was about as much as you got on average for an hour of play in the game previously without completing any challenges or anything like that. So it's a pretty good boost there. Those boosts get substantially bigger. There's some huge credits payouts as you go through all of that, and you'll see some big rewards there. One of the things we wanted to do, though, is kind of help take care of a problem and to make better sense out of our loot pack awards, especially for versus players. One of the things that we heard from you guys from very early days after launch is that while loot is almost always raining from the heavens in story missions, versus play is often, if you're a versus player, that's all you ever want to do. You just want to get in there and mix it up with other Battleborn. It was really hard to earn at the same rate of people, and you felt kind of obligated to go back and run PvE and all that. Now, while we're not going to change anything in PvE, you're still going to get a lot of loot packs. You're still going to get a lot of rewards in there. You're going to get all of the things that you've been accustomed to in there. We wanted to bring competitive up to a parity in that. So one of the things we've done is we've dramatically increased the rate of credits for playing PvP matches. It's like, I think, 3 times or more the rate of credits than you got in that.
This isn't like a 25% bump. This is like a almost 300% credit bump.
Woo.
Right. So generally, I think what you're going to see as you get in the new update, on average, and again, I say on average because when you complete challenges in Battleborn, you actually get a lot of credits boosts out of that. So experience and credits can come from there. It can kind of sometimes you can have big peaks of gaining a lot of currency, and sometimes you don't get as much. Right. So you obviously, if you want to earn a lot of stuff, you want to target completing challenges and all that. But I think generally what you're going to see from most players, especially players who have a lot of hours in the game, is when you play competitive, you're going to see a lot more credits come into your play. When you play story missions, you're going to get more loot and more loot packs in there. And I think it's going to kind of even out. You're going to have more agency with how to spend your credits from competitive. And I think in story missions, you're just going to get a lot more loot. We love it when loot drops in those types of experiences when you're playing through stories and getting boss loot and all that. So we wanted to preserve that experience. So you're going to get a lot more credits. So what do you do with those credits? Well, here's what we've done, and I think that some of you I know are going to love this, some of you are going to hate it, but hear me out because I think it's really, really genius what's going on here. So we've dramatically reduced the amount of complexity in the marketplace. When you go to buy packs now, there's one pack available for purchase by default in the marketplace. And you saw that earlier when we went through the marketplace, and it's here. It's called the Core Loot Pack. And let me go ahead and let's see. I think I've got enough credits here to buy one of these suckers here. A Core Loot Pack is a really special thing. Now, before you guys say, "Oh no, there's only common packs available," Core Loot Pack is at worst equivalent to what a rare loot pack was before. And if you notice in there, it's priced at around 20, I think it's priced at 2,500 credits. That's about what you're going to earn every hour of play in Battleborn. So every hour of play, every couple, 2 or 3 matches of competitive, you're going to get in there, you're going to be able to buy a Core Loot Pack. Core Loot Packs guarantee at least 1 rare item, and are going to have 3 other guaranteed items that are guaranteed common, but it's not like the guaranteed common were before in the other loot packs. It's guaranteed common weighted a lot higher at getting better stuff. A much better chance at getting uncommon, rare, and epic items, and even legendary items from those additional slots in the loot pack. So much better payout. On top of that, you have a random chance, I think it's about 1 in 3 chance, to get a skin or a taunt, and those were all of the skins and taunts that were in the faction packs before. So that entire pool of skins and taunts that could be available anywhere are now all available randomly, about, like I said, 30% of the time on a Core Loot Pack. So I'm going to open one of these up and let's see what the Core Loot gods give us today. Bam! So here, look at this. Not only did I get it's not a rare. The rare upgraded to an epic, so I got an epic and 3 commons out of this one. So pretty awesome pack. Again, you're going to buy one of these for about every hour of play. You guys are going to have a lot of fun. I think Core Loot Packs. What it's going to do is I think a lot of you who are really looking for kind of that mid-tier of gear, you've already got all the commons you've ever needed, and you're really wanting like uncommons to epic gear, and you're looking for max rolls on this. This is going to make the hunt for max roll gear a lot more satisfying for you guys, and probably a lot faster in a lot of ways. It's certainly going to give you a lot more gear, I think, that will make a permanent impact on your gear collection in there. And again, gives you a great way to go in and to look for those skins and taunts that you want to get in there. Just as we did with the faction loot packs, if you already own a skin and taunt, that converts right back to credits, which effectively gives you a discount on the Core Loot Pack and lets you go fishing again. So again, I think it's a much better system. I think PvP players are going to find a much more satisfying way to increase your loot collection over time. And again, if you are playing well, if you are completing match challenges and completing career challenges, you're going to get, and completing these main quests now, you're going to get a lot of bonus. You're going to get a lot of bonus quests. You're going to get a lot of bonus credits, and you're going to get to buy these. Now, I know some of you, I know the first question I've already seen in the forums of this is, oh no, how am I ever going to collect my Eldred skin that I've been looking for, because the faction packs and the other rarity loot packs are no longer available on the marketplace. Don't worry, they're still available in the game. So a couple of ways to do that. One of the changes that we're about to talk about is an increase. I've got a slide for that. Increase with command rank and character rank.
You're just going all
over the board, right? I'm actually covering an order. I'm just doing it while we're in game and talking about this. We'll switch back. You're going to get faction packs in there, so don't worry. And don't forget, Operations also allow you to unlock faction commander packs, and you'll still be able to do that. You score 100 points on an operation. Every time you do that, you're going to unlock a faction commander pack. So there's a great way to farm those and guarantee skin or a taunt for those factions. So let me get out of the game now. And let's go to slides because I can show you a little bit more of what we're talking about.
Yeah, and we do have definitely lots of questions about folks that maybe like already have faction packs but haven't opened them yet.
If you, by the way, and here's that's a great question. Let me address that right now. If you have already purchased packs, they're all still valid. They will all still work. They will all still give you everything that you want. We're not going to take away anything from you that you've already purchased. And again, because a lot of them still drop in story missions. So you can still get those through other means, and occasionally, who knows, Joe or Lisa might get very kind and drop a ship code on you for a weekend or something. Also, I think we're running a special Lootpocalypse event this weekend.
What?
So let me tell you, we're doing that for you guys, that before we do any kind of changeover in the marketplace, if a lot of you have been storing up credits and want to get in and buy faction packs or buy certain rarity packs, you've been saving up for that and want to get that at the discounted value or go and play in there, this is your chance for us to make good with you guys who've been saving up for that. Let me tell you, you want to do that this round of Lootpocalypse. We haven't announced when this patch is going to land yet, but there probably won't be another Lootpocalypse before this patch lands in. So if you're saving up for things, realize that you might want to. If I were you, I think the faction packs are the coolest thing. If you're looking for very specific faction skin, those are going to require some additional different type of effort to get in the future. But the core packs are still worth saving for. The core packs are really, really, really awesome. I open a couple of core packs every day now just because I can, and it's a lot of fun, and I love to see what I get from those. So I think very exciting about what you can get in there.
It's that weird guy says, feels like Christmas.
All right, so we're going to come back to faction packs in just a second when we talk about the command rank and character rank, but I want to talk about this first. Story mission diamond ranks. A lot of you have asked, you've seen that there's a place to fill in over there, a chance to get diamond ranks. Some of you, I think, remember it from early access. We had it available just a little bit. People have asked, where do the diamond ranks go? Well, the diamond ranks we found right at launch and especially in early access and open beta, that we completely underestimated or overestimated how you guys scored on the missions. Diamond ranks always were meant to be like that very top, very hard to get score. You really have to play exceptionally well, really maximize your score on one of our story missions on that. And so we wanted to be sure that we had enough data behind the diamond ranks to put that in, so we give you a challenge for people who really want to work together and get these. Diamond ranks will all be available for active in all 8 story missions with the upcoming patch. They are available for all difficulty modes. So on algorithm, you'll be able to get a diamond rank on normal, a diamond rank for normal hardcore, a diamond rank on advanced, and a diamond rank on advanced hardcore.
Wow.
What's awesome about that is anytime you earn a diamond rank on any mission for all difficulties, you're going to get a legendary loot pack. So there are, for those of you who are doing the math, that's right, there are now 32 earnable legendary loot packs available for you guys who want to farm legendaries.
Okay.
Yes, it's hard, but it's now hard based on data that you guys have all contributed to over in the last few months of playing that. And we feel pretty confident that they are all earnable, and they are all earnable about at the difficulty level that we want. Of course, we'll be watching this. If we see some that are too easy or too hard from what you guys get, we'll make some we can make some weekly tuning on this to be sure that we get it. But big reward for a big challenge. Those of you guys who really love story missions and want a really good challenge on this, have at it.
And the chat goes wild. We're happy. See, this update, you keep saying it. This is like a warm winter hug. For
Happy
you.
holidays, everyone. Happy holidays. All right, so more on that. Let's talk about that. I've already walked you through the reward changes. I'll just go through this. Story missions still drop plenty of loot. Faction packs still available, like I mentioned, through the operations. And this is the big thing I wanted to mention. Command rank and character rank increases will also reward packs. So command rank is now increased to command rank 150.
Here we go.
So you already saw that with Battleborn Day, when we made the command rank increase from 101 to 105, every one of those command ranks gave you a different pack. Now that reward structure is still in place. I think there's a rare pack and even a legendary pack in there at 105. But generally what happens is every command rank you earn from now 106 to 150, you're going to earn at least a core loot pack every time you level up. Now I will caution you, these are hard. These are now harder command ranks. They're about 3 to 5 times, and they grow over time. So getting to 150 is going to take a lot of time. It's going to take you a lot longer to go from 100 to 150 than it did for you to get from 1 to 100. We did this for a few reasons. One, we know a lot of you who put a lot of hours in the game really wanted a way to continue to show that additional effort that you put on the game and put into play in there. You wanted, I've heard a lot of requests for things like a prestiging system, and took a look at that. Now, prestiging is kind of difficult. We may still add something like that in the future. It's kind of weird with how Battleborn unlocks and how many unlocks and how much we give you in the game on that. But this is one way we can still continue that progress and give you that same type of thing. So a core pack every level, a legendary loot pack every 10 command ranks now. So again, another way, if you're just playing the game, you're going to get bonus legendary loot packs in there every 10 levels. And new titles every 10 levels. There might be a deep dive title in there somewhere.
Oh, no!
So
That's awesome.
we had some requests from you guys to get some of those in there, so I took that to heart, and you might be able to get that in there. So look for those new titles every 10 command ranks. I won't spoil what they are now. I'll let you guys, when you get your hands on the update, we'll let the first one to get there. So that's cool. Now, character ranks. Every character has their rank increased to character rank 20. We didn't want to just make the number go up. We could set the numbers higher, but we wanted to be sure that there were cool rewards for everyone there. So there are 2 new types of rewards you get on there. First, I know I talked a lot about with the loot packs. Here's where you're going to earn your faction packs. Faction packs are available every time you rank up, rank 16 through 20. So and it's for the faction of the character you're playing. So if you're playing Alani, you hit character rank 16, you're going to get an Eldred faction pack. It happens for rank 17, 18, 19, 20. Also, at ranks 17 and 20, there are new titles available for all the characters, just so you can show off your progress and your love for that character. At rank 17, I love this. A lot of you have kind of followed the developer nicknames we've used for characters throughout that, like Alani is Water Monk, Galt is Papa Shotgun. We've got a bunch of them.
Nice.
The rank 17 title is now the internal development name for the character. So that's consistent across the board. Now, there were a couple of those that were earlier faction titles, like Papa Shotgun, I think you got for Galt for your level 2 title before. I've actually moved that to level 17, and you have a new title there at level 2. So some of you may temporarily lose that Papa Shotgun title. I promise you, there's another title there that you're going to get. You're going to get another one again at rank 17 that you're going to get that Papa Shotgun back. Rank 20 is kind of cool, fun, creative, interesting titles that are there. Several of them inspired directly from the community or how the characters have been played. Yep. Like, for example, I think the title I put on rank 20, Phoebe, is the original OP. So those are the type of things that you have there. They're kind of fun titles that we had a good time putting in there for you. Also, the icons that you get for the titles. There's a unique icon for each one of those titles, and they celebrate that great Sung Kim chibi Battleborn art that we've had before. So those cute little chibi versions of the Battleborn characters that we had will be available on both of those. So you'll get a way, again, to just show your love for characters and get a different type of icon that you can put there for those of you who like to show off your mastery, like to show off your level up, and just how awesome it is. So again, not just number go up, but really substantial rewards for you to get both in loot packs and titles as you level up your command rank and your character ranks. I know one of the first questions some of you are going to have is, if I played 1,000 hours, is this retroactive? Will I just go up to command rank 150?
Right.
No, and I'll tell you why. I know some of you kind of wanted that, but I want you to still have the experience of earning that. It's really cool to earn that new advancement and show that off. So everybody's at even ground now. As we increase the level cap, everybody has to earn the new levels and levels up there with the level cap. So again, I think it's a really great reward. It's a really great way to earn and continue your time through Battleborn. Goals that go up. Or if you're just one of those players who love just to jump in and play incidentally and have a great time, you're going to continue to get rewards for a long time, many, many hours into Battleborn play now.
Yeah. And
awesome.
if you're just tuning in, just to recap the past 30 minutes or whatnot.
It's
However
already
long
been an
Randy's
hour. We are
rambled.
over
Yeah.
an hour.
We're basically we're simplifying the reward structure. We're giving you a lot more credits so that you can use your credits to buy cooler things, and these cool things can lead to much more new things and basically a lot more rewards on all of your plate. Rewards.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
All the things.
Let's move on because we've got to go here. I've already talked through the boost. I'm just going to pass through this real quick.
We have a question about the sort of rank upgrades and how that relates to mastery.
Yeah, in fact, I answered a question for this on the Battleborn forums recently. You still get mastery at rank 15. So we haven't changed any of that structure. If you already have a mastery for hitting character rank 15 and all of that, now it's like super uber mastery, I guess, if you want that. I don't think I added a new title to that, but mastery is at 15. You're still going to get the mastery skin. If you are looking for that, again, that mastery skin that unlocks and the legendary gear item that unlocks with mastery, you still need to get the character to rank 15 and complete all your lore challenges for that. When you go into the individual character pages on the command rank, mastery is still represented as hitting rank 15, completing all your lore challenges, and it still masters your percentage on that. And even after you're 100%, you're going to get 5 more ranks to continue to advance your character and get more rewards.
Nice.
So
Fantastic.
That's how that
excellent.
works.
Now, a lot of people have been asking for that nitty gritty. It's like, this is amazing. This feels like Christmas. And they're going to give us character balance changes.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Grant, your turn.
All right, so we've gone through and we've retuned some favorites, and we've made some quality of life changes for some of the characters, and we're not done yet. But these are the big ones that we're touching for this winter update.
Yeah, and as a disclaimer, Grant's going to walk you through the highlights. When you get the patch notes in the near future, the patch notes will show you everything.
Yep.
They're far more extensive than what you're going to see today.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So, did I push the button?
Yep.
Okay. So the first one is Montana. So Montana, we wanted to make sure that the gunplay felt solid across the board. We've had some complaints that Montana's skills and his size make him easy to play, easy to use, and easy to be shot at. So we wanted to return the favor and say, like, well, now you can shoot at enemies easier too. So the accuracy of his minigun, due to some augments and some skills, have now been increased. As the counterpoint to that, the natural damage reduction from the Icy Resolve has been decreased by 5%. However, the cooler and Gatling Grease both got functionality changes. Basically, we wanted to make sure that the gunplay loop was solid from beginning to end. And what we did was, now we said, like, if you're at max heat, you now reduce the cooldown of your dash. So that way you can get into combat, unload your minigun, and then when you're at max heat, your dash refreshes faster and you can dash out. Or if you're shooting at someone, they're at low health and you need to get closer, you can dash in and still have high heat, fast cooldowns to be able to get out and escape. Yeah,
Montana's a big guy. He gets hit a lot from everywhere, and that dash is really critical to Montana to helping him get in and out of combat.
So the quality of life changes in Montana all have to revolve around his minigun, and to make sure that that minigun usage plays into his skills that helps refresh his dash cooldown. The next is Orendi. Randy needed a quality of life pass, and we have 2 slides to talk about it. Mm-hmm. First, the Chaos Bolts, Randy's primary attack has been increased. The travel speed has been increased, so now it feels a little easier to hit targets that are moving. This is a big requested change for those that wanted to finish targets off with the auto attack. The auto attack, those bolts that fly out of the 4 hands, have now all been increased. They're very similar to like an Alani's bolt, not the same range, but the speed at which they travel, it feels similar to Alani. The first AUG, Fire Walk With Me, it actually was a little bugged in the sense that it looked like it did 410 damage, but it actually wasn't really doing that much damage. This is more of a correction of the skill versus an actual damage reduction. Instant Gratification is the mutation that makes your pillar instant, but it reduced it by half damage. We've decreased the penalty, so you actually deal more damage instantly. However, we moved this further down the tree, and we matched it with a new AUG function called Nihilism. We wanted to make sure that the Nullify skill from Orendi was actually utilized more. The Nullify skill is the one that pushes Orendi back. So what we did was we made a new AUG to compare against Instant Gratification and said after you use your Nullify, your next pillar is instant cast at full damage. So now you have instant cast at reduced damage versus a nullify pillar combo at instant cast at full damage. So this is one of the quality of life changes we're making to Arendi to make sure that the nullify loop can be auged into and still feels rewarding versus getting all pillar damage augments.
Right. And just to point out, people are freaking out about the skin. This is one of the medieval skins, in case you just joined us.
Yes.
It's from a new set.
Also, to increase the utility of nullify, we replaced the I hate your pretty shields with stay right there, and that makes it so that after you use nullify, your auto attacks will slow the target for 2 seconds. So this allows you to, if you grab the nullify to push you forward, to allow you to get in quickly, slow a target so that you can land your pillar quicker. So now there's a lot of options and a lot of counterplay to how you want to build your character. It's not all just about pillar damage now. Now there's utility from nullify that will help you with pillar damage. So it's straight up pillar damage versus utility, and we think this is a lot of counterplay, a lot of choice between the augments now for Arendi. Going to the next one. So Thorn had some area of effect damage reductions that came with the last few patches when we were trying to normalize all area damage done to minions. We wanted to make sure that she retained some of that utility, so we increased the damage of Hex Sanguination, which is the curse, so that the curse now lasts a little bit longer and it deals a little bit more damage. So now her bow curse play is a little bit stronger. Her burst propulsion, which is an augment that not many people picked because we have the data, which is basically
We know what you did.
We know what
the
you did.
melee
Or didn't do.
the melee aug. We've now made it so that if you pick this augment, your melee attack will now do a burst attack that deals more damage once every 2 seconds. So you can't spam it and knock someone back and do more damage, but you every once in a while you'll melee attack for those pesky assassins that get near you. You can hit them for a big burst back. And we also increased the shield penetration of phasing arrows so that if you hit targets with shields, you actually can feel the from penetrating their shields. And then finally, we replaced Blight Brawler, which is a mutation for the Corrupted Ground, with the wait is over. And this kind of adds some of the damage back into the Corrupted Ground, but only for the very last tick. When the Corrupted Ground disappears, it will deal an immense amount of damage to targets still kept in there. So it's a little bit of the redirection of damage and toward the end of it, so that players have to skillfully use it, not just drop it on the ground and have minions walk over it and deal the original max damage. Focus Volley, we felt like we already had an AUG that increased the amount of arrows that Volley shot, and Focus Volley kind of just reduced that width a little bit, the cone width. So we changed it with Splinter, so now anytime a Volley arrow, any of the arrows, hit a target, it will spawn another arrow that would hit a nearby target for a little bit of damage. So this kind of adds into the area effect control of Thorn without dramatically increasing the damage, and requires you to hit a target. So again, just some quality of life changes to Thorn. So Caldarius had some movement capabilities adjusted the last patch. We really want to keep the fantasy of Caldarius being a high, fast-moving mech that can really go in close range damage and get out as soon as possible. So what we did here is we adjusted some of the augments. Basically, we increased his close range attacks, and if you dash at a target, you can now potentially slow the target if you hit him with a dash at level 1. We increased the melee attack speed if you dash at a target, and we also increased the gun firing rate after you use a dash, and that's what these kind of first 3 AUGs kind of hint at. Basically, if you dash into a target or hit a target with dash, you will be attacking an increased attack rate or attack speed, and therefore allowing you to kill players faster so you can get out. And Flashburn now spawns 6 child grenades. So this was kind of like just a mini fix to the skill that wasn't used very much because the Merv behaved in an odd way. Now he's kind of spawning in the air so that it's guaranteed damage in the area. In addition, this is what we're talking about. So
the gift that keeps on giving.
A lot.
So Gravitic Burst increases the fire rate and plus 10 attack speed for 5 seconds. This is after you use a dash. Your weapon shoots fire faster. Ground Zero is this huge change to the ultimate mutation where that now when you land with your ultimate, you now do the crowd controlled knockback. So if you land, you knock players or enemies back into walls, they all get stunned. So this is a big buff to the mutation, but it's packed next to all the big augments on the ultimate. So that's a big change. We'll keep an eye on it, make sure it's not too overpowering. But when we removed some of the movement capabilities last patch, we wanted to give some of the power back and skill usages of Caldarius. Kid Ultra.
It's
So-
your boy.
So Kid Ultra has gotten some hot fixes throughout the last few weeks, but we also wanted to make sure we lock them into the character and we adjust some of the power in general, the stuff that we couldn't fix in the weekly updates. But this one we've basically had the Aura of Justice affect himself and not just his allies. So this is an actual self buff. And also we changed the Bola Snare so that it's less powerful and only stuns a single target. And this is huge because we didn't intend for the Bola Snare plus the spread to stun multiple targets for long periods of time. And we're also keeping a watch on the bleed damage. I want to make sure that we're not ignoring the bleed damage. We're keeping watch on it. That hasn't been changed yet, but with the reductions to the Bola Snare stun, the way it pierces targets, and the way it bounces in the past few weeks, we wanted to take it step by step. And so this is one of those big changes. So no longer chain stun or stun multiple players for longer than intended time.
There are cheers and confetti going up in the chat.
Yeah. So unfortunately, we had to wait to a big patch, but we've listened. We've got your back.
Kid Ultra, the most effective support assassin in Battleborn.
Yes. Yes.
There you go.
We're really good at those. So Marquis just had a mini change.
I've been pleased.
Yeah, Marquis had a mini change. This is more of just a general fix. The eyes everywhere basically revealed stealth players all over the map, and that was kind of a problem. So we just kind of reduced the radius. So that now the Pendles and the other stealthers can relax a little bit around Marquis.
It's still
Just a
good.
little.
It's still a good. I mean, this
No,
is
it's
still
very
an
good.
anti-stealth
Yeah,
ability.
yeah, yeah.
But now it doesn't act like it's just a permanent
Yeah,
reveal
it's
of
not
all
just a
stealth
permanent
players.
reveal,
Right.
Also some quality of life changes. Miko's ultimate, the Fungus Among Us, we increased the health. We thought that the stationary target, it can't do anything except take damage and heal your allies. We increased this health by 50% to try to increase the utility of it. Reyna's shield booster, we wanted it to be easier to target some of your allies, so we made some adjustments there. You can now cast it at players at further range, and some targeting mechanics there to make it so that it's a little bit more based off of your intent. And Toby's really strong. The double stun we're still looking at, but we really wanted to just adjust the force field to make it so that he's more vulnerable at times. So we think his vulnerability increase will help offset some of his damage output.
I'm pretty sure the double stun. I'd have to check again the patch notes, but I'm pretty sure we have an update to double stun in the massive legendary refactoring.
Yeah, I think so
Okay.
too.
Cool.
I think that's it for
Or double hug, not
yeah,
double stun.
yeah.
Double hug.
And I think that's it for characters we have for the presentation because we have a lot more to cover. But
Yeah.
the full patch notes will be revealed sometime in the near future, and make sure to check those out for all the changes.
Yeah, and be sure, as always, to follow us on our social channels at Gearbox Software, at Battleborn, as well as check out our forums, because that is usually, when we do drop those lengthy, extensive, amazing, beautiful patch notes, that will be the first place where you'll know where to get them and really, really do a deep dive into those.
Yes. Oh, and I just want to make a special shout out to some favorite character, El Dragon. Don't
Yeah.
worry, we're looking at El Dragon.
There are so many people that are like, Dragon!
We are looking at El Dragon. I could feel the vibes from the chat
it's-
hitting me in the forehead.
My iPad is like overheating.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we're
Right
looking at
now.
El Dragon.
It's
El Dragon is
Dragon!
actually one of my favorite characters.
Dragon!
Yeah, so don't worry. We are looking at El Dragon. He will receive some attention in the near future.
¿Dónde está mi
I'll also
dragón?
remember, for those of you who've asked a lot about El Dragon, one of the big things that we did when we did the big update that he took it pretty heavily in the face was we wanted to be sure that all of the melee characters had similar viability. we were seeing Eldragon be a really strong outlier compared to Wrath and Phoebe and others who had historically been very strong on their own, and wanted to be sure that Eldragon wasn't the obvious choice. We never want an obvious choice on characters. We don't mind if some characters, I mean, it happens. You have some characters that are god tier and some that are not every time we do updates, and that changes as you guys play. But we wanted to be sure that leveled out. Looking at the data over the last couple of weeks, we're seeing that leveling out happen a lot better. So we're in a place that we're a lot more comfortable with looking at Eldragon and figuring out what we need to do to bring back what makes him special.
And I will also say, and when we get to the next few slides, some of the stuff that counters Eldragon is the viability of the character in general, just the melee kind of squishy assassin type character. When we show you the new character select, it will naturally take care of some of the burden of being a melee assassin, and we'll tell you why.
Yeah. So, el dragón, siempre el campeón, no worries.
What she said.
Yeah, what she said.
All right, moving on.
We got
still some things to cover. We're not done yet.
We have not even achieved our final form here. Coming up, we're going to talk about some changes to the modes.
Yes.
Some changes to the modes.
All right, let's get the slides back up on our monitor so we can walk through this.
Yeah, so we are working through some stuff. So we've changed up some modes here. Talk to us about mode improvements.
So everything got touched. All the modes, Incursion and Face Off, got some tweaks. There's not a lot to there. We changed the way, I think, a little bit of the way the sentry targeting happened on Incursion, and then Face Off, I think, is we actually have a slide on that to talk about those. There are a few quality of life changes there. Capture got some major changes. Meltdown is almost brand new in some ways. So we're going to walk you through that. We actually are calling the new Meltdown Finale. And so we'll walk you through that.
That's super fun.
So, you want to talk about Capture?
Yeah, so Capture, we know that Capture is the least played mode that we have from all of the modes. We've watched the stats at all those, but we know that some of you really love it and have appreciated it because it's also one of the most brawly, kind of fast-paced modes we have in the game. It's a really different experience than the longer Incursion and Meltdown. That was very intentional. We've always wanted a mode to do that and let you get a little bit more of your team deathmatch spirit out in a Capture mode. But what we're seeing on that is a couple of problems. One is it really didn't make good use of the level up ramp. Many Capture games, you finish before you got to level 10, so we're seeing those end early, which doesn't really feel like a great Battleborn game. And also, we noticed that a lot of times when you go to Capture, everybody's pulling in only common gear, which is great. I love that common gear has a place. But we'd like you to engage a little bit more in the gear system and be able to make some more choices there right at the beginning. So we've done a few things that we think are going to make Capture a much better experience. First off, in Capture, you're going to start at level 3 with 500 shards. You're going to get a boost to the start right at the beginning. So while you're in the base at the beginning, you're going to be able to get in there. You have 3 levels you get right there. It's going to let you get to ults. It's going to let you get to higher levels a lot faster. So that's going to be good. 500 shards is very interesting. It gives you the ability to activate quite a bit of gear, one piece, right at the beginning. So you can now make some strategies against some better early activation to really optimize your game to the way you want to play. We've also reduced the time it takes to capture and neutralize points to 6 seconds. So it's going to be a little bit faster to capture the point, which gets other players about it and hold it. And we're actually, it's not even on the slide here, we're increasing the experience rewards from capturing or neutralizing points. Nice. So if you are capturing, neutralizing, or even defending points, you're going to get more experience there. You're going to see more experience on there. Defenders and capturers are going to be able to level up a lot more and take a lot more agency. So it should be, again, increasing the pace of that, definitely increasing the pace of leveling Capture mode while keeping the game mode very quick. The other thing we did is we changed how the Virelsi work. You're still going to have camps of Virelsi out there on the corners and all of that, and they're still going to contribute to the experience, but they're no longer going to drop those level up helixes, which gave you a full level instantly. We noticed a lot of players, a lot of teams that were very good could abuse that very early on to get their level advantage way up. You'd be level 8, the other team would be level 1 or 2. It really created some dynamics in Capture that weren't very healthy for the game. So what's going to happen now, killing Virelsi is still important. When you kill a Virelsi, it'll share experience points through all the members of your team. So if you want to designate 1 or 2 people to go around and mop up Virelsi camps, still going to give your team an advantage. It's still a great way to use that, to use good teamwork to do that, but it's no longer quite as polarizing as it was before when one character could skyrocket way over the top.
Yeah, people are absolutely loving this update.
Good.
Joe SOS says, this is brilliant.
Good. We want this mode to be fun. We want this mode to be fast, and we want this mode to play out as if it was an objective-based team deathmatch. And that's why we wanted the focus to be on players hitting these objectives as quick as possible, and then getting back into the combat as quick as possible. Yep. So, some good changes for capture.
Yep.
Oh, there we go. And by the way, and we reduced
By the
small
way,
and medium shard
and one
cluster
more thing.
spawn times on that.
This means that there'll be more shards. More shards on the whole map.
Yeah. Oh, that's a pretty good question. What happens if both teams are killing Varelsi? Does it go to the last?
It goes to who are basically last hit.
Okay.
Whoever gets the kill gets the experience for the team. Yeah.
Cool. Perfect.
And next we have the Meltdown finale.
Ah, the Meltdown finale. Would you like to go over that first, or would you like to show it to him first?
I'll talk about the reasoning for the change.
Okay,
so,
good.
with Meltdown, we love Meltdown. We think it's one of our great team versus team modes. The problem is Meltdown has a very high learning curve, and for those that jump into a Meltdown game and don't know exactly what they're doing, or if they find themselves beaten down early, there's really a lot to overcome to get back into the game. And we realize that, and in turn, if a team would play the objective correctly by trying to defend their grinders, they end up increasing the length of the game and creating longer base games than we would like. So we wanted to address all those things with the changes to Meltdown. The core of the game is still the same. You want to escort minions to the enemy's grinder.
Right.
But what we wanted to do is make sure that you weren't ever out of the game, no matter what. Even if the time was about to expire, you were always still in the game. And we wanted to make sure that you could impact the victory condition without just being a minion AoE killer escorting player. You can impact it through other means. Supports could be, or shard gatherers or supporters could do other things to kind of impact the victory scenario. So we made some changes, and I'll kind of run through it as we kind of play the video.
Cool. Yes. So the cool thing is that you actually were able to give us a little video showing off the actual finale.
Yes.
So this is going to be super cool.
Yeah. So right here, what you see is the time hits 10 minutes. The finale starts after 20 minutes of playtime, and you see this feedback here. It says end of regulation. The team with more points, as the opposing team in this case, basically is the leader at this point, or the advantage team. So as you can see, they have the advantage. What this means is that all minions on the field are all now dead. The advantage team gets 2 ultra minions that spawn at their back spawn.
They're like super minions.
They're like
ultra.
super minions, yeah. And the enemy team, my team that's watching this, can see these giant 2 skulls and their allies coming from their spawn. My goal as a team that's not in the advantage team is to kill these ultra minions before they reach my grinder. If I'm successful and I kill this ultra minion, then we have delayed the victory condition. As you can see here, I did do that, and now we are at sudden death. When the losing team kills this ultra minions, the losing team now has the ability to spawn their own, and this happens naturally, and they go against each other. But the winning team, since they had more points than us, their ultra minion starts stronger. And you can tell by the number at the top. Ours is version 1.0, their version is 3.0. But we still have a chance. If I push back, my team pushes back hard enough, and we escort our ultra minion to the enemy grinder, somehow, some way, then we can actually capture the victory. So this means that even if normal play, the winning team stomps us 300-0, no longer 500 points, it's 300 points to 0, we now have a chance, a small chance, of being able to come back at the very end, kill their initial spawn, because only the winning team at the time gets the spawn at the beginning, then come back and escort ours to their base. We can actually steal the victory. So this means that there's always a fighting chance regardless.
It also means that the end of the match has, again, it's why we call it finale, right? There's a bigger end to that. There's an event that ends the match. It's not just some random little minion wobbles on fire through a gate. Yeah. Game over!
Yeah. And we want to avoid the going to time and no one gets a sound victory. We want that final victory feeling where, like, yes, I escorted this final minion into the enemy grinder, and we won as a team.
Yeah. Great question. Can you heal these Ultrabots?
I don't believe you can. The full details will be in the patch notes. You can CC them. You can increase their speed or slow them down, so that if you build like the buildables, they could help speed them up or slow them down. The rocket turret could also slow down the minion. Stuns and slows will also work to try to reduce it. So if you wanted to focus on crowd control, you have a huge impact onto the Ultra minion moving its path down the lane. I'd have to double check on the healing.
Yeah.
I can answer that question in the forum afterwards.
I don't believe so. I think you're right on that.
Yeah, good to know. Yep, very good. Yeah, because there are people already planning, sort of ways to kind of coordinate with this new mode here.
The strategy has changed. The strategy has changed so that if you wanted to be the 5 assassin team and you get to the end with 0 minions escorted, you could technically wipe the enemy team and kill their ultra minion and just escort yours. It'll be very difficult. The balanced team will have a lot more stacked against you, but you could pull it off. And we've had play tests internally where we've pulled this off with teams that were uncoordinated, that had really high skill cap players carry the victory with a 5-player kill and taking their ultra minion down the lane.
Wow. Yeah. That's going to be super fun.
Big change to Meltdown.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, and just to recap on the final points, I think if you go back to the slides, we can, I think I have the actual details there. Yes. So, the opening phase lasted 300 points, no longer to 500. We wanted to kind of shorten the beginning down. The halfway point is 150 now instead of 250. So, the grinders will still move halfway through the back gates activated at 150, still through the match. The 20-minute timer decreased from 30. That means that at 20 minutes, no matter what happens,
you're going to the finale.
You're going to the finale.
Okay.
Yeah, we want to ensure a victory. Every time an ultra minion spawns, it gets stronger. If you go into the finale with a large minion advantage, so to say,
my 300 to 0.
My team has 300. Randy's team has 0. My ultra minion.
That's totally how it would be.
That would be how it's happening. Our ultra minion will be at least 3 or 4 levels stronger, and this is tunable. So we'll be watching the data and we'll be adjusting these live. So it can all be adjusted live on a weekly basis. So you don't have to worry if you guys feel like it's overpowered or not. We'll definitely be watching for your feedback. But we have had teams intentionally tank the beginning and win at the end. One team all they did was collect shards, activated all their legendary gear, built all the things they could build, tank it to 0 to 300, and then win at the end.
Wow.
Like, we've had those strategies win. So there's many different strategies that can be employed to win a meltdown match.
Yeah. A few questions. Will minions give more XP to compensate?
Yes. Minions will now give way more experience to compensate for the 20-minute time. If you play all 20 minutes, you will guaranteed be level 10, no problem.
Cool. And do our buildables reset when the finale is triggered?
No, they stay active.
Cool. Good to know. There you go.
Yeah.
And we've talked through all that.
Yeah.
So this is just. We'll get these details again. Will be in the patch notes and other places, so you guys will get a good reminder of this. This just does a good summary of the big things to know and the big changes on that. So
right. So that's the big meltdown change. Again, it's to try to allow teams to always be viable. Try to allow players to always have a chance to win, no matter if they get stomped at the beginning or not.
Cool. Good to know.
I'm sorry, I animated all of these bullet points. Keep clicking, Grant. We're almost there. We're gonna make it, man.
And next slide.
Yay! Oh my
here we go.
goodness, y'all. Character select.
Okay,
Character select.
This is one of the big things that I wanted to work on after we launched the game. One of the babies that I really wanted to push, and it's because I worked on character balance. I want players to understand there's a fair fighting chance no matter what character you play as. And one of the big things I wanted to push was for our character select to represent team viability. Not just one strong, don't just pick your strongest character, but pick characters for your team viability. So there's a lot that's changed. I will try to walk you through every single thing as best as possible. and I'll be watching the forums and I'll be helping to answer questions. So let's just jump
Grant
into it.
is here for you.
Yeah, let's
worries.
Let's just jump into it.
Shipping one Grant in every box.
I think we have we have the default character select. Now we group the characters by role. So now we have the defenders, we have the assassins, and we have the supports. So that this helps players identify which characters do they want to play as. You can now back out of character picks. This is huge for me. If you pick a character and you notice that your team didn't pick a healer, yell at your team first, but then go back and pick a healer for your team. You can now back out of your pick. And finally, you can see what the enemy team picks. Now, this has pros and cons, of course, but now, if you wanted to play a melee assassin like El Dragon, and you see that they have a Marquis or an Arendi or an Alani, and you're like, this is a prime game for an El Dragon, you can do so. So, now there's some kind of viability for characters to counter other characters. So
this is what it looks
here's
like.
the general layout for a default character select.
This doesn't have live data in it, so you see you're missing some player names and such.
Yeah. So my team will always be on the left side. All 5 players will be represented on the left. The little computer screen icon you see will be replaced by your title icon that we saw. If you are a VIP or running a double XP boost, you'll see your animated icon on the left side. The enemy team will be represented on the right side, and so you'll see what they pick. Now that blue trapezoid that you see next to that icon, that's where the character picks will show up. So when we kind of run through it later on, you'll see that when a character is selected, they will appear in those kind of blue trapezoids on each side. And as you can see in the middle, we have our character grid. Our character grid, we have assassins at the top, we have our defenders in the middle, and we have our supports at the bottom.
Cool.
We have a lot of characters. It fills out the whole grid, so you can have your pick options there. At the bottom, below the character grid, you'll see 4 sub-tabs. The first one represents your character that you picked. That's your Battleborn. The second one is your gear loadout. And you can tab through these, clicking with the mouse or pushing the shoulder buttons on any of the respective controllers to go to the next tab, even without picking your character. So if you are waiting for, let's say, the character grid or the character select to finish while your team's picking, what other team's picking, you can go through your loadouts, you can check them out, you can pick one, and then you can look at your team composition. You can say, oh crap, no one picked a healer. Let me go change my loadout and let me go switch my character to go pick a healer. And then once you pick a character, you can go in and you can browse through the taunts and skins on the last 2 tabs. So we've tried to clean it up, we try to make it a lot more organized, and we try to present as much information as we can to the player.
Look at that support row. That's really awesome.
Huh. Doesn't that look good?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I really like the way it looks. And it's also kind of interesting because now, we even have like debates going on in the chat as to like, why is it certain characters are kind of fitting in certain roles, which is kind of interesting. Yeah. Especially support.
Especially support.
Especially
all right.
Support.
So this is default character select. We also have 2 other modes that we're supporting for you guys, and this is directly like a fan appreciation. We created band pick mode, which basically allows teams to vote which characters they would like to play as, for which characters the team can pick, and which characters are banned from the match. And we also have captain's draft mode, and the draft mode is for advanced players for going for the private 5v5 tournament type play, who are locking players out and are picking players for their team to play. And they'll have a captain per team. And we'll kind of go through all of this, but I just wanted to let you guys see, here's the initial layout, and then we'll kind of step by step go through the draft select, because the draft select will show even more information.
Yeah.
So on draft, both ban and pick draft and captain's draft are always available in private matches. So a lot of you who have organized your own matches and want to do that, want to play tournaments and all that, those are always going to be available there.
Awesome.
Captains will probably never be in a public queue because it requires you to have a captain. It's kind of weird. You vote on it, the game can still do it, but we'll probably keep that to private. Ban and pick, though, we will almost certainly bring up probably a versus draft queue pretty soon after this patch goes in. where you guys will be able to match in with the groups and teams and whatever there, and do ban and pick drafting in a full-on competitive play with probably Incursion and Meltdown mixed in those maps. Love to hear your thoughts on that, what modes and all you want on that. But we'll bring that up soon and let you guys have a public chance to jump in and draft. But always available in private. So you want to walk us through some of this now?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Let's take a look.
So here we have, as we jump into character select, so here we have...
this is band pick.
This is band pick. So right now we have the band phase. Can we pause it real quick as I say something? Elisa is recording this with by herself with 9 bots. So
this is gonna move a little
when
quicker.
it moves a little quick, that's because
bots are choosing instantaneously.
Yeah, bots are choosing instantaneously based off of reaction to Elisa or when she clicks something. That's basically the vote.
Yeah.
But every team has about 30 to 40 seconds to determine a vote. Well, to vote for a character to ban. This is modifiable. If teams feel like this is too much time or too little much time, then we can adjust this on the fly.
It's modifiable through a small patch. So we can listen to you and tune it up.
Yeah,
So
and for people yelling at me for banning their favorite character, I was doing one of this. I was trying to keep it fair and as random as possible.
All right, so let's go ahead and keep it going, Sean. Thank you for pausing. So the enemy team's now banning. The Elisa team's banned, and the character appears at the top left or the top right. So Team 2 has banned Cleese. Cleese will now appear banned on the top right.
So pause. Let's this banner go by. Pause right there real quick. So one of the things to show you that happens in all the draft modes is at the very top you see kind of the check boxes and the bans.
Right.
That shows you all of the phases per team in the order it happens, because ban and pick happens in different phases. Typically, when you get to like selection phase, one team gets a pick, the other team picks, then they pick again, and then it goes back to the other team. It rotates around, to be fair. It's convention. If you guys have played any other games with draft modes, with ban and pick or captain's draft, it's very similar to how those work. So at the top is your timeline for how the draft is going. Top left, top right are the characters that are banned. Right below them are the selections, and it'll be a little bit different in captain's draft. So carry on.
Yeah. Okay, let's go ahead. So right now we're in a selection phase. Elisa has selected Benedict,
of course,
clearly, and as you can see, her character trapped on the left is now Benedict. Team 2 has selected Atticus, so you can see Atticus now appears on the right.
And now there's another round of bans.
There's another round of bans.
You hate clones?
See that?
Yeah.
You hate clones.
No, I did now.
Oh no, it was them.
They did
my
that.
goodness.
I'm banning Kid Ultra.
Poor Mike. Poor Oscar Mike.
I didn't do that. That was a bug.
So now we're going to go through it. Each team now has banned 2 characters. Now each team is now going to go through the gamut of picking characters.
Hey,
we're going.
It's your boy.
See,
nice.
The bots love Eldrico.
I know. It's just he's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like 1/3
My team's
robot.
about to be pretty OP right now. I love it. Yeah.
So not only Grant, there's what I think there's 25 seconds for each. I think it's 25 seconds for each selection phase. So when it gets to you, it'll say you pick a character in there. You'll have 25 seconds to waste everybody's time or to carefully think about what character you need to pick. And by the way, it's not evident in here, but when you're in this phase in public draft, when it is the ban phase, it's vote to ban. So everybody on your team has a vote on the character to ban, and the character that is most voted on among your team is the character that gets banned there. So if it really is a complete pickup group, a ban, you're all voting on that. You'll see the selections from your other team. The enemy team won't see the selections that you're voting on that. It's something that will be a little bit more clear when you have your hands on this.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we're going into captain's draft.
So this is captains.
Yes, this is captain.
So it's going to work a little bit different. First, do you want to be your team's captain?
I mean, yeah.
So when that prompt comes up, the first person per team that clicks this or pushes yes will become the captain. So you are playing with 4 other friends in your private match.
And you already know who's captain, or you're going to yell at each other for someone clicking when they shouldn't have.
I am the captain now.
I'm the captain now.
I'm the captain
I'm the
now.
captain now.
So the expectation is that you come into this with a plan. The captain knows what the plan is, and but the team will coordinate with the captain at all times.
That's how it should work.
Yes.
Yeah.
So of course, yes.
Ideally.
Of course. So we have a captain pick for Team 1. Team 2 is about to pick a captain because they're bots, so they're going to wait a little bit. But now the captain now bans. So the difference between captain's draft and ban pick is that the captain does all the selections, whether it's banning or picking the character. So right now Lisa's banning a character, Team 2 is banning a character. And also the order has changed a little bit. In ban pick, we have 1 ban per team first, then we have 1 pick per team, and then we go back to 1 more ban. In captains, we ban all 4 characters at the beginning, and then we go into the pick order. And if you look at the top, the timeline kind of shows you, based on the color and the shape of the trapezoid below each color, which order and what the next phase is. So we try to make sure that all information is readily available. Also, captains don't pick for their teammates; they pick for their team.
Right.
So when you pick your characters, they appear at the bottom left or bottom right corner. Well, actually, you're always picking for your bottom left. So you'll always see your team represented in the bottom left. But you can see what the other team picked in the bottom right. Once all the picking is done, players then can pick any character out of the 5. So the character grid will update, and you'll only see the 5 characters that you ended up having with you in the match.
Right, that's why it's called the reserve phase.
Right.
The captain is reserving 5 characters in back and forth between the enemy team. They're reserving 5 characters that they feel that makes an ideal team composition. Now, if you're not the captain, you actually have some ability, again, using that same kind of voting mechanic we had previously to mark, I want this character, I want that. You can tag characters. There's a little bit of communication we built in there that gives you the chance to do that. So you can let your captain know if you happen to not be on voice with them, which we don't imagine why you wouldn't be, but if you're not, you have some ways to communicate your choices selection. Of course, text chat still works in here for PC and consoles if you really want to do that.
Yeah.
And that moves on there.
Sean, I think. Oh, yeah,
there we go.
So yeah, now you can see the pool now was those 5 characters, and now we're back. Since the character's been picked, we're now at the skins and taunts. Yep. And the skin and taunts is now a wheel that kind of goes left and right, like a wheel, but like a selection menu that goes left and right.
Perfect.
All right.
Yeah. So, some folks are wondering, like, this is really awesome, kind of what inspired, the inclusion of these kind of different.
Well, we wanted to offer. We know there's many different types of players in our game. We know there's the casual players. We know there's a little more hardcore players, and then there's some in between. We wanted to offer all the play styles and all the kind of competitive levels that they need, and the tools that they need to support their competition level. And when we designed Character Select, we wanted to make sure that it was modular enough that if the competitive community wanted a change, and this was like a majority of the community wanted to change, that we could adapt to it. And that was kind of the main thing for adjusting Character Select. We wanted to make sure that we can adapt to what the community wants. And when we started rebuilding this Character Select, we focused on trying to make sure that no matter what in the future or whatnot, we can say, okay, the competitive community needs a captain's mode where a captain picks, and maybe they want to pick all the characters in the beginning and ban some at the end or whatnot, and shift things around. We can support those things. So that was the initial thought. The second is to be able to provide both teams on the competitive level some semblance of counter picking. We didn't have this ability in the past, and now we can see what the enemy teams are picking. So this actually allows for strategies to be developed on time, live in the game, and also it helps gear loadouts too. You can change your gear loadouts based off of what the enemy teams are picking or what your team's picking, and all of this helps with strategy, with cooperative play, working together to try to beat the other team. And this whole patch is all about cooperative enjoyment. And whether it's the new player or it's a returning player, and the Character Select is just a big part of that. It's the entryway into how you can work together with your team to beat the other team.
Yeah. So I think for me, you're talking about this. I would classify myself as kind of a very casual competitor. I'm a lot of you in the community who play with me, that I'm really average. I love the game, but I'm not great.
So average.
But what I love on this is We're gonna take it out back later. Not in the game though. I have a height advantage on you in real life. But what I love about this is for kind of people like me who love the game, like the competition, but aren't super hardcore, and I'm never probably going to be on a ranked game in a tournament, in the captain's draft. I still like the idea that I can get into a match-in draft, and if I know Boulder's having some balance issues this week, I can convince my team to turn him off. Right,
Yeah.
so it gives a community that has a little bit of knowledge of what's going on with the metagame, what's going on with certain rounds of character balance and all that, to take a little bit of those really pointy edges off the balance and limit those choices, and then to do a little bit. I mean, Battleborn is a game about characters.
Right.
I think every character-centric game, whether it's us or you play the MOBAs, you play the fighting games and all of that, that knowledge of learning what a character and learning what a good team composition is, learning how to pick characters that complement or contradict other characters is really important. I think it makes the game very, very, very rich in that. We've done simulated draft pick in Battleborn since probably year one of the project. Since we had very early tests, have always wanted this feature. But we had so much to do in the main game. It took a major redo of the character select to get this in, to be able to do this. And we did it because we love you guys, we love the game, we love where this is going, and we think this is a big addition to the game. And hopefully, if you guys love it, if we can get some players in and involved with this and active, we would love to look at where this would naturally extend in the future with adding more type of competitive support features. I know a lot of people are looking for like a true ranked mode and things like that. We would love it too. This is a first step toward that if this goes well. So
I mean, and this also benefits campaign players. I mean, if you're queuing up to try to get that new diamond rank, and you got two other players there, and you pick a character, and you notice during the countdown that we're all melee and we're playing the algorithm, oh crap, now you can back out, and now you can pick a different character, adjust your loadout. And these are all benefits across the board for player choice, player agency, and helping players learn the game.
Yeah. There's a lot of questions.
Oh, I'm sure.
about these different modes, just to kind of sort of reiterate some of the stuff. Are these only in private matches?
Okay, so how we're breaking it down at the current moment, these could all change in the future, is that quick select will stay as the first kind of screenshot that we showed, where it'll just be everybody picks their character, and you can the only added benefit there is you can back out, like the functionality benefits of backing out,
and you can see the see the enemy selections in live time.
and you can see the enemy selections. So this is kind of what you'll see, just normal pub play. For Captain's Draft, that is currently reserved for private matches.
Only.
Yeah, because we expect one person per team to pick all the selections for each respective team.
And by the way, I will put a little blurb right there. If you're interested in this, but you're wondering how am I ever going to find a private match? I don't have enough friends. On every platform, on PlayStation, on Xbox, and on Steam, there are communities of players who gather together and put together private matches regularly. There are groups on both PlayStation and Xbox that do that with hundreds of players in there. Steam also has, if you go to the forums and look around, you'll find there's a Battleborn Discord.
Yes.
Which a lot of the Steam players frequent, and some of the console players as well, but primarily that. Those guys, there's groups of players that are playing private matches every night here. You can almost always get in and play a game like this. I expect these guys are going to go nuts with this feature. I can't wait. Some of them we know, Grant and I have played with and know regularly. They've killed me thousands of times. But I can't wait to ban their favorite characters now.
Oh! Wow, shot fired.
And then mixed in between the private and public quick selected captains, there's the ban pick, which is a voting mechanism to remove characters from the match. So if you really want a character that's OP.
Yeah. And the way that those will show up right now, according to the plan, is we will, we're down to, I think we're running one queue on, we're running quick match on PC and PlayStation. I think Xbox has got an additional queue on it right now. We are really looking at bringing on more queues on peak times. We've actually got some new tech that's hopefully going to show up soon. That's going to give us a lot of ability to bring up queues dynamically based on population and at peak hours and all that, and on the weekends. So like we've done in the past with special queues that we bring on, like Chaos Rumble or Bird Hunter or those other queues, we're going to cycle back in some of these queues at peak times on weekends, and we want to do that with drafts. So one of the first special queues that will be coming up after this patch is you'll see a queue that will come up that will be, I think we're going to call it Versus Draft, that will have the band pick draft on a queue that you can just match into solo, team, however you want on there, and you'll be able to engage in that and use all of the vote, ban, and pick to get into a draft selection for your play.
Cool. And then there was another question about a tie, like if there was a sort of a tie during bans.
So
what
yeah,
happens in that case?
if two players vote for say Thorn and two players vote to ban El Dragon, it will randomly choose between the two characters.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah, otherwise, it's always a majority.
Cool. Perfect. Excellent. Hooray.
It's a 5-way tie. Everybody wants a different character.
Yeah,
That's what's going to happen within the first hour of play.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, everybody's already kind of planning out. They're sort of like, oh, this will emphasize different kinds of team composition,
Yeah.
like DPS composition, and
Yeah.
all sorts of stuff. So that's super great. Yep. People are loving this. This is a ridiculous update, by the way.
Yeah. So
Can we just talk about this?
yeah.
These are many of the things in the
Yeah.
update.
This
many
isn't
of it-
even everything.
I'm so tired.
Yeah, this, and then just to reiterate, for those folks, that are just joining us and they're kind of wondering, like, I missed a stream, where do I get we will have fully detailed, amazing, beautiful patch notes that, and this, by the way, we've already been on for a couple of hours. This isn't necessarily everything. This isn't necessarily all of the changes that are going into this winter update.
There's a lot more
highlights.
detail. There are things we didn't even
Yeah.
talk about tonight, like oh my gosh, you now have if you're using sorry, I think I just swallowed a beard hair. if you I know that's totally gross. One of these days,
don't die, man.
Yeah. Ah!
Please don't die.
I'm gonna get that. Oh, there we go. Got it. I guess I'm not supposed to talk about it. If you like spectator mode actually now has first-person spectator. We there's a lot of little things that we snuck in there. They're just quality of life enhancements on our other features that are good. You'll see those in the patch notes. They're across the board. Really, really cool stuff.
Yeah, and I want to give a shout out to all the developers that worked very hard the past 6 to 9 months on this, from code to UI to art to design. A lot of our developers put our heart into this game, and we appreciate all the fan support. We appreciate all the feedback, positive and negative. It helps us make a better game, and this is our appreciation to you guys. Like we did all this to kind of show you guys, like, hey, we are in this to make a better game, make a great game for you guys to all enjoy, and we want you guys to love it, and we want you guys to give us feedback so that we can improve even more if we need to. But this is all stuff that's in a patch that's free for all players.
So
like,
free content.
Free
If you ever
content.
wondered
basically.
if we're dropping free content, I would
Yeah.
remind you that we've dropped in PvP maps and unlockable characters and all of that. But this is a substantial amount of content. Again, you don't have to pay anything else to get.
Yeah.
Yep. Beautiful. Let's see what else we got going on here. Now, there are a lot of folks that are wondering, this is awesome, but when? This is stuff that's going to be happening, in the next few weeks. So, as usual, stay tuned to our social channels. And speaking of our social channels, we're going to do a little something different with our skin giveaway today.
Okay.
We don't have the skin. We don't have the shift code for you. You know where it's going to be? It's going to be on our social channels. So be sure to follow us on Gearbox Software, at Gearbox Software, on Instagram, Twitter. We also have an official Facebook page. So make sure that you are following all of those channels. We even have a Snapchat. Send us those snaps.
This is, if you're wondering, the gold skin for Cleese.
Yes, this is the gold skin for Cleese. It's fantastic. It's very dignified. I mean, it's called business class.
It's dignified as Cleese gets, right.
Cleese, business class. Go together like
Find it
peanut
very
butter and
shocking.
jelly. So be sure to follow us on our social channels so that you do not miss that skin and make your Cleese look luxurious. Be sure to follow us on our social channels for that, as well as any updates on this update and beyond. Now, is there Now, of course, saying this in a very, very measured voice.
Mm-hmm.
We did say at the front that, we were also going to have like a little bit of a look ahead as to what folks might expect. Can you, as sort of some parting words, can we give them a little bit of hype for things to look forward to?
We don't have a slide for this, do we?
No.
Okay.
No, this is just us.
So again,
speaking directly.
Again, I hope a lot of you who have asked, where's my draft mode? Because I've been saying this, I think, since before release that this is going on. It takes a lot of work, and there have been a lot of things we've been working on in the game and getting out with you. I hope you will take this as a big measure of trust that we make good on our promises. We've told you guys that we want to support the game, we want to add new content, and we want to give you a lot of ways to enjoy the game and to continue playing. We've listened to you very carefully and are doing everything that we can that makes reasonable sense for us to do to add features and add benefits to you in the game. There's still more coming. Some of the things that you're going to see, there's another character, Beatrix. I don't know why we didn't even take a look at her today. She'll be coming in a future
I would have
update.
clicked on it.
You would have clicked on what?
I would have clicked on it. Maybe
okay, for those of you that have been yelling about Beatrix, what have we done whenever we've had a character? We have devoted an entire stream to them.
And Beatrix is amazing. You saw her in the support category. We've let you know. She's, again, kind of with a lot of our support, she's a good mixed support. I won't say a lot more than that.
She's badass.
She is badass. We will have another stream coming up that will detail that. And also, we have 3 more operations to put in your hands. In fact,
so many.
I know. There's so much coming. Oh my god. A lot of you have had a chance to play Atticus and the Thrall Rebellion. We watched a lot of your hijinks on the Toby's Friendship Raid. Heard a lot of comments on that. The 3 that are coming are, I don't know, every one of them is kind of like a special snowflake to me, and I get them all out. But next up is Oscar Mike versus the Battle School. Again, if you like the mics, you like Mike lore, you want to find out what's going on there. It's also, some of you have been asking for more Horde type play. It's going to scratch a little bit of that itch. Stuff coming up, we'll do a stream on that.
Yep.
Then Montana and the Demon Bear, probably story-wise my favorite out of all that we did in the operations. I know I change it every week because I love stuff. Oscar Mike is hysterical. Demon Bear is great. You got those, and then to wrap it all up in the future for the operations, you're going to have Phoebe and the Heart of Ekinar. For those of you who have really asked a lot of questions about lore, what's going on in the universe, what's happening with the Varelsi, what's going on with Empress Lenore and all of that, this is a mission where Phoebe dives down into the journey of the center of the Earth, the Heart of Ekinar, looks at what's going on that planet, uncovers and reveals a lot of questions with what's going on. That's what we're gonna talk a lot more about that in the coming weeks as we go into the holidays and then go through them. So, and there's also we haven't talked a lot of details, but there's also at least another PvP mode coming up. We've mentioned that and all of that, so that's in the future. Again, more skins, more taunts, more content to come up, and so much. And then we'll continue to look at, as Grant mentioned today, continue to look at and monitor stats on balance, to look at the characters. Every time we do something as big as a balance change today, there are all sorts of surprises that come out of that. We'll be listening to you guys, watching what you say, making weekly balance tweaks where we can, and queuing up big updates where we need to. And continue to support the game and try to make the best Battleborn experience that we can have for you.
Excellent. And this is all for you. This is all a result of us listening to your feedback over the few months, throughout the course of Battleborn's release, really diving into the forums and the Reddit and all of that stuff. There's so much of this, that we've heard from you, and we wanted to give you as a big winter hug, this winter update for you.
You guys get a big hug, and I think all the Battleborn development team is going to settle down for a long winter's nap after this one. This has been a big update for us, and I know long expected, so many features in this, and I hope you guys appreciate it.
Yes, so keep tuned to our social channels, our forums, basically all of the places where our community lives for more updates on this winter update. And be sure to follow those so that you know exactly when our next big streams are happening. It might be safe to say that, we are going to maybe have our next stream. Let's welcome the new year, maybe.
All right.
With a nice, fancy new stream that may or may not, I don't know, have a look at a little someone. Maybe. If you're good.
Yes.
If you're good.
Don't you Beatrix and us.
Oh, snap.
Wow, that was really good.
He was saving that all night.
You were saving that. So, this was a marathon.
Yes.
A little mini marathon showing off all of this amazing stuff. This is great. Hey, you, come here. Say hi to people.
I can see through
Come here.
time.
Come here. Lurking. Come here because
Is this the Anthony Nicholson cameo?
yes.
Every update.
Lean in this way.
Lean in.
Lean in. This is Anthony Nicholson also completely trolling the entire Slack
Who is
chat
the single
entire
force
time.
holding up this update?
Yes.
He's the only force standing between this update and fans. In fact, I think the fact that he's in here means that there's minutes delayed.
It means great things are happening.
Great things are happening.
Yeah, there you go.
Of course they
Yeah.
are.
Thanks.
Yeah, nobody needs to see Randy anymore.
Well, I thought I was here to talk about Beatrix.
Oh,
All right, so on that note,
Anyway, next time.
screw it. Next time on Battleborn, we might be seeing a little bit of this
Yep.
fair lady. But
Thank you guys for a great year. Thank you guys for being great
Yes.
fans and really communicating and playing with us. I loved all the time to do that. And I hope that all of you folks have happy holidays.
yep.
happy holidays.
From all of us here at Gearbox Software, get Battleborn and have a happy holidays, a very happy new year. I just killed Gran. From all of us here at Gearbox Software, we love you and good night.
Peace.